dodge this Uacep the Lesh combo. And it's a hero that wants to just get on top of them. The Astral Step, very high mobility, so you can kind of use that as well theoretically to be able to enable the glimpse. If they fall behind though, they could lose a couple of towers, and they might be then cooldown reliant on, because Lifesteal is going to be able to get involved before the Spectre will. That's my worry.
I think the way Carl's going to play this on the Void Spirit is just level up that Dissimulate. He's not going to go for the Resonant Pulse more than 1 point. He's not going to go for the Astral, the Aether Remnant, sorry, more than 1 point. He's going to be focusing on, right, how am I going to get my farm in the early game, and how am I going to keep these leaves shoved out? And that's just using the Dissimulate basically every single time it's off cooldown in the middle of a wave, keep it pushed, slow down these timings that are coming through from T1, from Fnatic, and yeah, I think it's going to be passive-ish in the first 5 to 10 minutes, but as soon as those key timings come up at around the 12 to 15 minute mark, we're going to start seeing some bloodbaths.
Yeah, and it's just the good old Southeast Asians run at each other and see who's going to be able to get more kills instead. We had a lot of high kill games yesterday as well, so just hopefully continuing that one on and how it's going to actually end up faring here. But see, we got so just a normal setup at the moment. Nothing, no real shenanigans occurring. Is there, if there was going to be a lane where a kill would potentially happen, what's the lane we should keep our eye out for?
I'd say most likely to be probably this top side. Just if they get lucky with the Chen creep, if you're out of position, a slow into a Light Strike array is all you really need to, reposition the boar again so that you're just constantly slowed through it. And we can even see Whitemon's up here, so he's gone for the Thunder Strike, not the Glimpse. Just thinking maybe they might have tried to go for the first blood play, even if it would have gimped him in lane a little bit, but this is fine as well.
The battle begins.
They've spotted out that Sentry Ward though, so DJ is going to be able to deal with that straight away.
Sentry, yeah, it does, alright. Are you a fan of the lane wards that we've been seeing at the start? In particular, the one where Radiant have at the top side?
I think we've just gotten to a point in this patch where everyone knows where the ideal spots are for the wards. So you're going to have to be a little bit creative, ones that don't give huge value if they're dewarded. Like, if you could just get any vision, you're pretty happy with it. That's one of the reasons I'm kind of hyped for the new patch. Lots more ward spots. I'm always going into practice lobbies and seeing, what gives vision of what. If I cut one tree, how much does this give? So lots of that theory crafting going to happen sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Yeah, and it's always the thing about what teams able to adapt just a little bit faster and see what heroes might be just a little bit broken with combinations and how they can play it early on. So that's going to be exciting to watch as well. But Carl's already got the level 2, so you see just being able to slightly pressure out Moon with that advantage in case he does try and walk up and secure some of the range CS at the moment here. Still intrigued to see. I like the matchup, because with this, even though it is a range versus melee, the Void Spirit's a hero that's going to be able to shove out the lane, and then it's going to be very obvious when the Leshrac is making these rotations across the map, trying to put impact on that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, maybe you'll get lucky, maybe you'll get a Fated Brooch so that, that extra couple of seconds that you're saving in your travel time is going to be quite good. But we've seen like 9-minute boots of travels come out previously as well, so it's just all going to depend on this lane. But Carl, again, having a very nice start to things, 9 and 4.
He's got a very big damage advantage at the moment. At least Moon can secure some CS with the abilities. But still, the fact that Void Spirit, is 71 damage. You got to keep in mind the 18 from the Quelling Blade as well. So Carl is going to do very well here.
DJ is up onto level 2 now as well, so he's got the Divine Favor as well as the Holy Persuasion. You'll see Cuckoo, he just skilled the Call of the Wild essentially for the Hawk. He hasn't summoned the boar at all, just not wanting to give some extra firepower over to T1.
Is that... is because I've seen some Beastmasters, if the board's not going to have an impact in the lane, sometimes they'll put a couple more points in the axes. Is there even any value on that? Because axes still feel pretty bad.
They do. I think it was literally just the 1 point for the Hawk. I think they just want the vision, essentially.
Remember when the Hawk, it wasn't long ago when that was able to block camps? How stupid was that?
That was very stupid.
Yeah. Like, what's it? Surely that can't be a thing. Like, it's just...
Again, it's just looking very passive. No real kill potential from either of these sides, especially like we talked about the top lane being the one that potentially it could happen in. But if you're not going to summon the boars to try and get something to happen, they can't steal the boars and no kills can really eventuate from it.
Yeah, so it's going to equal out a pretty passive start to the laning stage at the moment. The good thing about this, though, I guess we'll probably see rotations come out from the supports to contest the power runes that we're going to have up in about 35 seconds here. So hopefully we can get potentially the first blood occurring. As Carl's taking a little bit of damage here. You see, if he does eat that stun in the split earth, then it's going to allow Moon just to dish out the damage. But the good thing with the simulated, if you're able to dodge that. Moon's done a pretty good job, though, of constantly pump faking, making it difficult for Carl to be able to guess if it does come out or not.
Yeah, they've spotted out the fact that Jabs is starting to rotate through. He snipes the courier, but they should see that he's got a ward on him. So even those Tranquil Boots, not enough to give him the lead. Although he's making his way towards the bottom rune. Are they going to be able to dodge this out? Yeah, it's a haste rune coming for Moon. He's going to be very happy about that.
This one was always mine.
Yeah, we'll see what he's going to be able to do. If he wants to think about making a rotation with the haste, he needs a couple extra levels to really put that impact on. And just the leaner right clicks on a core feels so rough. I mean, Raven's got 2 points in the feast, so every level in that, just the sustain's going to keep increasing. He's got a Chen in the lane as well, but...
Well, actually gone in a little bit onto Zephyr, forcing the TP all the way back, so he's going to have some respite from all this harass coming out, but what's he going to be able to purchase now? He's got nearly enough for his boots of speed, so perfectly happy with that one.
Still, what do we got in the jungle? DJ looks like he's trying to make a stack around the mid lane. So nice of a spot for the Leshrac, who can just pull these camps together and get an immense amount of farm. And this is, again, I highlighted with the Lifestealer and the Chen. It's really going to enable... Oh. Paimon just denied the bounty instead of contesting it. I guess it was aware Jabs was coming over, and with 2 points in the battery, Salt could have been first blood. Jabs is still thinking about hunting. Though, yeah.
You've got Tranquil Boots against no boots with a Clockwork that's already way faster than a Disruptor.
He's got Glimpse. It's just going to send him back now. It takes a little bit of damage holding on the Glimpse for a while there, but man, this mid matchup, you just see how strong Carl is doing right now. At least Moon has some stacks to be able to fall back on, and
really nice. Nice understanding. Sorry to interrupt from Whitemon. He's constantly checking the inventory of this Clockwork. Saw that he immediately dropped the Observer Ward and sentries it straight away. So the couriers are going to feel a little bit more safe now that Clockwork's not easily able to snipe them.
Yeah, Jabs is starting to make the rotations though, and both the Disruptor and the Lina aren't the greatest heroes at kind of mirroring the movement from the Clockwork early, so this could kind of enable Jabs to have some impact with the rotations if you can find that angle on the wraparound. But we're actually going to see Moon come towards the top side. He's got 2 points in the Edict. They've got the wave diving as well, so this is a great rotation from Moon, as we're going to see our first blood finally 6 minutes in. This Moon will claim it, and with the catapult wave and the Edict, they're really going to try and put some pressure on the tower, and this is what you're able to do with the Chen Lesh lineup.
Yeah, and really good understanding of the resources that T1 had at their disposal. We had Void Spirit, who got his Clarity sniped out by the Clockwork, so didn't have that regen to be able to come and contest this, and forced to walk all the way back, only just TPing in. Moon might die for it now, having overstayed the welcome.
He's in trouble, Zephyr with the TP forward. So, I mean, they get the tower, they punish the Lesh for staying that long, but it's still... I guess you lose the Lesh there, unfortunately. At least they get that tower, though, which is going to feel pretty nice. And meanwhile, Jabs trying to soak up some experience. You got Masros as well. We haven't put too much attention on bot because it's kind of just been this farm fest. Masros, 41 last hits. Spectre's got 36 at the moment, so they're both having a relatively decent lane.
And you don't have the kill potential, especially now that he's gone for this Morbid Mask. He just doesn't even need to buy any more regen. Disruptor's not able to output enough damage to make that a real factor. I don't think Moon's going to mind that all too much. He's got his stacks that he's going to be farming up here above the tier 1 mid tower. It'll catch him up in levels to this Void Spirit. He still took the tower. He's still got the first blood, so it will be fine.
And you're going to see the Lesh be able to pick up a lot of neutral items as well here early. Just keeping the stacks until after the 7 minutes. See what he can get with the last couple. What have they got so far? Inoptic, Shovel, and Talon's going to be pretty nice for the lifesteal.
Yeah. Ended up sending back the Keen Optic, which I was a little surprised about, but I suppose just feeling a little bit lucky, thinking he's going to get some bounty runes with those shovel digs.
Have they got any stacks of the Ancients on Radiant? They don't. So Spectre just picking up the Blade Mail. We're going to see him start to make his rotation into the jungle. This is going to give Disruptor some experience, which is really nice because, you know, Disruptor's a hero who really relies on having pretty high experience. You know, once you get the glimpse maxed out, it's just going to increase your pick-off potential. As top lane though, Cuckoo being chased down by Raven. They TP jabs as well. Cuckoo's going to try and dish out the Roar. He actually runs back forward, but it looks like having to utilize the ultimate there to keep his life. So Beastmaster, be alright.
A little bit of a rotation here from Zephyr, just getting some understanding of what's going on. And you mentioned the Glimpse and the Static Storm. He should probably be hitting up into that level 7 around the time where all these brawls are going to happen. Moon getting dived somewhat.
Could be in trouble here. Remnant's going to end up missing. Leshrac having a very high movement speed at the moment with the help of the Windlace too, so it looks like he's going to be okay. They don't have enough mana for the Haunt at the moment. Not that he really wanted to jump onto the tower without the rest of the team following up there. So the some rotations try and get these pickoffs, but unfortunately no connection so far.
And Masros as well, he's just able to take this tier 1 tower pod without too much contesting now. Whitemon, he's soaking up as much experience as he can, but having to be careful as always. Clockwork, very hard to try and deal with.
Well, this is worrying now because Fnatic are going to probably try and look to go mid with that second catapult timing through. And they've already got 2 tier 1 towers. And Raven, I mean, he's of course not yet with the armlet, but he's going to have a pretty decent timing here. So I'm going to look to see if Fnatic can contest the tower mid.
And just look at what they're prioritizing in terms of who's getting the experience. You've got the Chen sitting mid, making sure he's going to have his Hand of God when the catapults eventually come. He's half a level away. The the tome being purchased up by Jab, so obviously wanting to have his hook shot as well. So it's a matter of who is going to make the rotations when. Spectre even just making sure he's standing in this mid lane. He knows that that's a big priority right now for Fnatic.
You see that die? I mean, they got a 2,000 net worth lead, and down bot though. Whitemon just hitting the level 6. Jab's going to come down with the Static Storm drop. Jab's going to have to run to the western side of that, but Radiant, they've got all their ultimates, and they're going to force a fight here to protect the tower. They bring down 2 heroes and Fnatic, but it does even up mid. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, felt like kind of a bait there from Fnatic. Yeah, you lose 2. Radiant Glyph and instantly beeline mid, considering you see all the rotations, but the ultimates were used. Haunt, Static Storm, Roar. So when Dire are back up, they're probably just going to head mid and try and take that objective. As Carlo going forward, they get the glimpse back. DJ's in trouble here, still doesn't have the Hand of God. Raven's going to try and dish out the damage, but you know, at the moment without the items. So nicely done from tier 1, you know, continuing to put some pressure on, recognizing that the Void Spirit's really going to enable this glimpse catch potential as well.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, yes, I feel like it was a little bit of a bait going down bottom side. I think their ideal scenario would have been Jabs actually coming mid, using the hook shot to get a pick off. That kill gives the Chen the experience that he needs to have the Hand of God, and then you snowball that into taking a tower. He's pretty damn close to picking up his mech as well, only 500 or so gold away, and he'll get a lot closer when this tower's taken.
There you go. Nicely done. Hooks up forward as well. Jabs finds Alina. I mean, Carl's on the higher ground. They don't have anyone else, so it looks like, unfortunately, Zephyr's going to pay the price. Staying around a little bit too long, and you see the Clockwork, the catch there to be able to find the squishy Lina.
Top tower is under attack.
Shen's one small creep away from getting his level 6, so they're just going to look to get really active right now. There we go. They've caught out Carl, running a little low on mana to be honest, and doesn't have any points in any charges left in the Astral Step.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are
See, Moon also went for the Boots of Travel, and is going into the Agnums as its next item. So the Boots of Travel is just going to really enable them to have, you know, the constant pressure in these fights and the +1 potentials. Whitemon's just getting chased into the tower. They still have the Ravage, the Hand of God as well, so they're really looking to fight here.
And what have we We've got a couple of clarities coming out to Jabs. By the way, you speak of the Ad Scepter. He's just gone straight Ags after the cloak. Not even finishing up into anything.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified.
What's that? Getting the cheeky old
Radiant's
double
bottom
hook shot.
tower is under
It's always
attack.
going to feel pretty nice here with the refresh. And see though, Radiant. I mean, the thing is that the Beastmaster's never a hero that wants to TP
Radiant's
down
middle
somewhere. You
tower
really
is
want to
under
play
attack.
in the lane that you're situated, where you've got the Hawk vision and the ball set up, because if you TP away from them, you're not going to have the ball impact in like a team fight or a pick off. So, I mean, you see he's going to leave top once it's shoved in, but Dire, they're already positioned up on the high ground right now, so they're in a relatively decent spot. Although they haven't grouped up though, it looks like the rest of the team are going to back off around the triangle. So Masros might get caught out here. Glimpse back, Static Storm there. We're going to drop the Roar as well. Let's see if he can tank up through this with the Hand of God. LSA is going to control him, but once again with the Kraken Shell. No, Masros wants to turn, chucks up the Ravage Moon with the follow-up stun as well. Where's the extra damage to be able to deal with the Void Spirit here? He's going to get one Astral Step away, but he doesn't have the mana. And now Radiant going on the beefy target. It's going to cost them the hero. Unfortunately, that hook shot doesn't fly through, getting a bit
Hits the
blocked
Hawk.
there.
There was a Hawk standing on top of this area. It was a nice recall in by the
Oh, he's
Chen as
on the
well,
high
making
ground.
sure that top's pushed out. Yeah, so Jabs is just stuck. He already used his TP just previously.
A tithe to the impurities.
Oh no, but I mean, going on the tide like that, dropping Static Storm, Raw, literally everything to try and kill him. Radiant is still coming over. Cuckoo's going to be pretty careful with the Centaur Conquerors. Look at him go to work. DJ using the micro there, and Cuckoo's going to pay the price there, running up that high ground.
He's got his Lami already, and that is a mech completed as well.
Dire's
So
structures are
the snowball can
fortified.
continue. No glyph,
Oh,
they know
it's
that's the case. Yeah, they're fine. Tier 2
Radiant's
tower,
bottom tower
pre
is
15
under
minutes,
attack.
you're always going to be content.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Probably just take away this outpost, secure the couple of bounties, and then just go to the next tier 2 tower. You've still got 3 minutes.
So we are going to have the 15 up pretty soon here. So Moon's already trying to set up top and find Jackie, who has been farming up relatively well, third in the net worth, but Moon's scouting out here. Needs some help from the rest of the team. It looks like they're not coming up just yet. Gonna run into Whitemon instead, so that's a much easier pick-off. Just unfortunately going on a bit of a warding expedition there is Whitemon. Oh, he did? Doesn't? There we go, Jab's got it. It's like, thanks, brother. I'll take that 230 gold.
Jackie, nice little snipe there of the hard camp. Able to accelerate his timings a little bit more. Now he's level 12 as well, so that haunt cooldown only quote unquote 160 seconds.
This has been a very good kind of play from Fnatic, really hitting their timings and understanding when they're able to pressure. And we saw when T1 didn't have their ultimates, really made it difficult for them to be able to contest the fight. Shabs is in trouble, has to use the hook shot to get away from the aggressive Beastmaster running through the jungle, but he's still slowed up. Carl's going to be able to get involved as well as the healers to be able to set up for the Remnant. They're running over inside their jungle, but they're going to get there a little bit too late. Looks like they still want to try and contest this though. Carl, stun, is actually off the mark there completely. And now what do Radiant want to do about it? Are they still going to take the fight? However, Cuckoo's got the Roar. On top of the backline though, it looks like they've found Whitemon. I mean, unfortunately, it's just a Chen, so unable to really do too much to pressure out the Disruptor who was trying to link up with the rest of the team. They're still just battling out. Now with the Static Storm drop, they're going to Glimpse drag back with the Haunt follow-up as well. You've got to be careful because Mastros, he's got the Ravage, but a 3-man stun from Zephyr. Carl's going to go in as well. Moon's going to end up paying the price. Mastros still with the ultimate without the rest of the team. Leshrak's a lot of the damage. Raven's going to try and turn, chucks out the Ravage, stuns up all three. So a lot
Clockwork's
of
coming in.
Clock's going to try and help out as well. TP's the outpost. He doesn't have the hook shot just yet. It's going to be up in a couple of seconds here. How can they follow up though? They need the vision. Jabs want to Joe up there. Looks like it's going to be a little bit more difficult. There is, and that's all she wrote though. So you see Fnatic, they end up losing 3. Cuckoo's going to be the price to pay, but a nice fight from T1.
Oh, found the Spectre. They know a lot of big ultimates were just used, but it also includes their own Ravage. This is the next big priority here.
The
No
Lesh
vision
is
up on this high ground though.
Can Lesh rejoin them at the moment? Gonna try and TP into mid. Jabs, nice cogs in this choke point. They're gonna be careful here on T1. Carl's gonna try and go on the back line with the Roar as well, controlling the life steal, but they've got the sustain coming through thanks to the Hand of God. Do they want to continue for more? Because they're diving pretty deep without the Ravage. LSA holds 2 back.
Radiant's
No one's
middle
died
tower
just
is
yet.
under attack.
Top of the back line, they've got the vision advantage right now, so Carl's going to be careful. They got one ulti charge, but no way to jump in right now, so it looks like Carl should be fine.
So much vision being gained as well. Zephyr, he is just in no man's land right now. Well, free money. And you can tell what the priority is for them. You know, a lot of lifestealers, they go things like the MKB, but when you've got this push lineup, Moon might be dead though. Oh.
This is out the Remnant. Now Dire, they're trying to cut them off here. Static Storm drop, only controlling one. Masro's going to be able to get out of range, but there's no follow-up in the Storm right now, so Jabs keeps his life. And Dire, they want to try and punish this. Gush going to be up in a couple seconds, so Sli's up, Whitemon. If they can continue going for more, Raven should be able to catch up thanks to the Rage, and unfortunately, Disruptor's going to end up falling. Drops a ward before his death, but Fnatic are just continuing to put so much pressure on the map right now, knowing that the Spectre, you know, with that Haunt cooldown, unfortunately, not really being able to get involved.
Yeah, just some efficient plays coming through from Fnatic. Even Jabs, when he died before, he made sure to buy out. So he bought the Ogre X just before the death, not losing any money, and he's only about 2,000 gold away from finishing his own Aghanim Scepter. So he should be pretty damn content with how things are going. Lifestealers, well, like I was mentioning, some of them go the MKB. Does not make sense at all with this lineup. You just go that straight Desolator and just buff up the damage that's coming through from the Leshrac, that's coming through from the Chen army. You're very happy to just continue the push going forward.
Now it gives them a much easier way to be able to take Roshan as well. I mean, they already have the Gush and the minus armor, but now also getting the Tide's even got a medallion as well. So they're going to have a lot of minus armor, and you know, this Rosh is going to fall pretty fast. So if T1 use a couple of their ultimates, you know, they've got really good ways to scout out, especially with the Beastmaster, but you got to keep in mind, if those ultis are down, it's going to be really hard to contest in a choke point like that.
Yeah, and I'm just really liking how Fnatic are going around these timings, right? Like, yes, it would be nice to have a pipe against this lineup. You know, they've got a ton of magic damage coming through from the Static Storm, from the Lina, from the Void Spirit. But is that what's going to be able to actually end the game and take the objectives and move forward onto what's actually important? No, it's the Solar Crest. That's the thing that's important. That's going to take Roshan. That's going to make the next team fight much easier. It's going to be a 6v4 type of scenario when you've already got a ton of sustain.
See right now, how close is Spectre to Manta? Okay, so Jackie got 1,800 gold in the bank. The Aghanims is now completed as well for Moon's Leshrac, so he's going to be outputting an immense amount of damage throughout these fights. And it looks like Dire recognizing this, and they're going to try and make a play with the Rooter. If they can chain lock down the Void Spirit, it looks like they will be able to, man. DJ's having an incredible performance on the Chen. You know, you've been highlighting that you really want to see DJ on more of a, you know, mechanical heroes where we can see him thrive, and the Chen is definitely one of those.
Well, Roche is melting.
This is even pre-Deso as well, which is coming out now.
I mean, not just the Deso, but the extra 48 damage on top of it as well.
Yeah.
From the Mithril Hammers. There we go. Just shredded through. I feel like T1 might have opted to take that team fight, but it was about... It shows how Dota is a game of seconds. Literally seconds. The Manta style wasn't quite yet delivered through as they went on to it.
They're trying to contest here, Zephyr. Cogs still trapping him in the choke point, and they want more as well. They should have the movement speed from Moon to be able to catch up. Unfortunately, Whitemon, I mean, he's going to go for a TP. The Cogs up in a couple seconds. It's going to be a little bit too long. Nice TP out there from the Disruptor, but they still lose the Lina, and now you're going to really start to see the map control continue to shrink from T1, and this is going to make it very difficult for the Beastmaster and for the Void Spirit to kind of keep up with the farm.
Case. I mean, you can see here, Kylie's doing his best. He's just jumping in, using the Resonant Pulse. I didn't get the chance to use it to Assimilate, but it just means that they actually don't have any Astral Step charges for the team fight that's inevitable.
Going shot in, straight on top of Whitemon here. They're going to be able to bring him down first now with the Ravage as well, trying to control up the Void Spirit. He gets it, Yules, but got to keep in mind, without the ultimate charges, quick to Assimilate. Can he get up on the higher ground? He can. Dire, they don't want to continue chasing. Radiant are setting up on Moon down bot, but he's out of there as well. So, I mean, they use the Ravage, but it looks like they want to go up high ground and try and force at least T1 to come back here. And yeah, I mean, look at the objectives. They're just getting shredded. They need to do something about it here. Tier 3 is just going to end up falling. What can they do on Tier 1? They need to try and
just use the
attempt the high
divine
ground
favor.
defense. Masteros just frontlining. Now with the stun, Beastmaster. Specs got Horn. They want to try and do something. Whitemon with the ultimate as well, but you see how aggressive they're able to position with the supports in the backline. They just can't jump them now. Cuckoo's in trouble as well with the magic damage coming through for the Leshrac. Jack is going to shot. Got the blade mail. Lesh is just destroying himself with his own damage at the moment here. Now with the hand got as well. He's got that extra life to be able to utilize. They're going to chase him back as well, but Jackie, he's in trouble. Can they get a stun to follow up with the lockdown here? It looks like Jabs unfortunately eats the Laguna Blade, so Fnatic, they just lose the one and that extra life, but they force out a lot of ultimates here, and they're pretty healthy too. They got a full set of racks mid. They're not done just yet. Raven pops the rage, going to be able to juke out that LSA. I mean, they're going to have to try and cut the wave here. It looks like Carl recognizing this and going mid, but Lesh is already trying to contest that, making sure they have no opportunity.
Let's be very careful. Luckily enough for him, he's got the regen rune, so he's going to be somewhat healthy, but again, that's just Elena Rax gone. I mean, what have they got next? What are the next big cooldowns coming up? I guess the Hand of God is very important to be able to continue these pushes forward. So you'd think that T1 have got that next 100 seconds or so to be able to try and rinse and repeat. By then, you'll have the Haunt back up as well for himself. Just trying to think. It just feels like they're lacking a little bit of that burst damage coming through. Jackie, I mean, typically next is something like a Skadi, you know, and he's buying the ultimate orb to try and make that a thing, but I just don't know if that's enough damage to deal with all this pressure from Fnatic.
Radiant smoked up. Trying to make a backline stab here on top of Raven. They get the roar out. Jab's going to try and move forward. See if he can get the defensive factor with the cogs. And now Infest up as well. He's going to pay the price with the clockwork. They drop the static storm as well, just in case once he pops out. But it looks like they have the damage go through while he's silenced. Raven's going to try and look to turn as well with the open wounds. On top of Jackie. He's in trouble. Rooted up. Stunned up. He's going to get brought down. Doesn't have a buyback. And now Cuckoo's going to reveal himself as well with a Penitent slow. Look at the damage. 4 hit by Raven. Oh my. This game, all in control is Fnatic, is now they want to try and go bot, shove the wave in. They've got Ravage back up, Hand of God in 40 seconds. And I mean, Radiant, you don't have buybacks as well, so they're in big strife here.
Yeah, it turns out Solar Crest is a really good item, especially for something like a Lifestealer who benefits so much from just attacking hyper aggressively.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Probably going to have to give up this set of racks here. I mean, they've still got a tier 2 up top. Not the easiest way to jump unless Jabs is there, and it looks like he's actually up top of the outpost, so they're not going to be able to jump on the lean up, but it doesn't matter. As Fnatic, they get 2 sets of racks advantage now, and they're just going to try and shove in top, and now probably Fnatic will try and hold the triangle, knowing that the tier 2 and Roche is the real big next objectives. Look, Masteros. Team is kind of left the tide a little bit. DJ's there. Masteros is still goddamn tanky. Like, how are you going to kill off the tide on Sir Stun Jabs? It just follows up. Hooks on forward. They're going to try and deal with the backline. Haunt forward, but it looks like the damage for the Void Spirit is just eating everything up from Raven. They're going to be able to keep DJ alive. And with the Static Storm dropped as well, doesn't matter. Tide's going to be able to get a range down, but the Ravage controls up 3. It allows Raven to go to work with the sustain from the Hand of God. There's just no damage that T1 are dishing out. The Bash Cuckoo gets the force, but Infest going to be able to secure the kill. Carl's in trouble as well. He doesn't have any ultimate charges. Looks like they don't even care. They'll just walk it through. I mean, just, oh my lord. Masteros is just so goddamn tanky in the sustain. You just see that T1 can't do anything right now.
Yeah, unkillable. 16k net worth lead. By the way, 100% win probability coming through for Fnatic right now, and I cannot find a flaw in the way that they've played this game. It was perfect from their execution. Kind of obvious. Like, I feel like we were talking about in the draft stage, you know, when the timings would happen, and it just happened exactly like we were predicting. But it's just, if you've got this draft, you straight up cannot deal with it.
Let's see what they can do. They got the Agnums on Carl. This might be a good opportunity to be able to bring down Ray, but he stays alive and are raged up, protected with the Glimmer. Meanwhile, Masteros, he's just so far in. Doesn't give an absolute shit right now. He's still in trouble as Masteros. He's fallen pretty low here. DJ's going to try and help up with the mech. Glimmer Cave's back up as well. And inside they go. Carl's going to try and do the work, but he's got to be careful because he doesn't have any ultimate charges. Meal on top of the backline. Moon, Clockwork, dealing with the backline supports. Lena's going to buy back, but the rest of the team, they don't have buyback. Cuckoo stuck up on the racks. They didn't kill the goddamn Tide Hunter. Dota. Fnatic lose no one, and they claim everything. Full mega creeps now, as they probably don't even have to leave if they want to. They could just force the Gs here, and they will. T1 have to tap out. A beautiful game from Fnatic.
Come on, Jabs, run back to your courier, make it in time. He finishes the Ag Scepter. That's what he wanted before the end of the game.
Victory.
Yeah, perfect. I cannot find a fault